In the early 1970s, no one looking at Aughinish would have believed that this sleepy, beautiful island of gorse and heather would be developed into the site of a giant alumina refinery and continue to sustain its local flora and fauna. This island on the Shannon estuary has, over the years, brought some of the biggest names in the metal world to West Limerick. Starting with a triumvirate of owners that originally built Aughinish, Alcan, Arco and Billiton, evolving to Glencore, our owners at the turn of the millennium, and culminating with our present-day owners, United Company Rusal. In 1978, with the gorse cleared from the land, the stony ground was prepared for construction. Workers were drawn to Aughinish from all over the country and across the world to a vast-scale project. Our plant construction enabled emigrants to return to Ireland and the Midwest to work on what was the biggest construction site in Europe, employing 6,000 workers at its peak. The new development required a deep-water marine terminal on the island to allow ships importing raw materials such as bauxite and exporting alumina to dock. The longest jetty in Europe had to be built. Jutting 1 kilometre out into the majestic River Shannon, it in itself is a feat of engineering at our plant. Vertical tubular steel piles of 2 metres in diameter were driven into the riverbed to support the jetty head. The jetty head itself was formed of a precast concrete deck, which was 285 metres long and about 40 metres wide. In effect, a precast concrete factory was created on the site. Another engineering challenge was the creation of a storage area for the raw material bauxite before processing. 2 huge sheds, each of the size of a modern football stadium, were built for this purpose. As the giant sheds were the first completed buildings, they had an immediate practical use when they became the temporary home for office workers and were used as storerooms during the construction of the refinery. Some of those pioneering men and women who built Aughinish, coming from across the world to work in the biggest site in Europe, remained with us and are still working the refinery today as we celebrate our 30th anniversary. Safety has always been of paramount importance at Aughinish. The safety of the construction workers was a key priority on the site. It is reassuring to look back at footage from the time, showing safety training was as central to the way we worked then as it is now. As we view the vast expanse of the construction site, where the refinery begins to take shape, we can begin to understand the extent of this monumental undertaking, creating a modern alumina refinery in only 5 years. We must spare a thought for the original painters of the stack. It's a long way down if you forget your brush. At the beginning of our 30-year journey, key engineering problems had to be overcome. For example, positioning the large digester vessels on their plinths. The digesters came from Spain to the partially constructed jetty by barge. They were unloaded and transported to their place in the process equipment jigsaw. The construction of the floors of both decanters and washers required continuous concrete pouring. As we move forward in time, we can see progress in construction as the jetty juts further into the estuary. The arrival of the bauxite unloader was a key milestone in construction. Anxious faces look on, keen that all would go well and that the unloader would soon be in action with its hungry grab waiting for the first ship. Careful timing of the tides was needed to slip the enormous piece of machinery from its barge in the estuary to its final resting place on the jetty head. Finally, the plant is finished. and its staff are ready to meet the challenges of the first production run. The first steam to rise in 1983 was a confirmation that we were in business. It was the first sign of product making its way through the veins of our giant plant. From 1980 to 1983, the workforce steadily grew to approximately 900 employees. Bauxite ships soon became a familiar sight up and down the estuary. The process of unloading bauxite has changed little over the years. At one time, we also stored bauxite in the open, but now it is all contained within the bauxite sheds. An iconic view of Aughinish Refinery from the jetty at dusk. Moving forward to the 1990s, the two ideals of safety and innovation came together with the Leonardo players. This was a group of Aughinish employees who used drama as a method to impart a key safety message to all employees. Another important aspect of the way we work in Aughinish has always been our care for the environment that we live and work in. We are conscious of how lucky we are to work in an area of great natural beauty and abundance. In early years, we had fishing competitions on the jetty. There were also mussels grown under the jetty in 1992. The estuary is alive with aquatic life, both large and small, from dolphins and specimen fish to the humble mussel. Historically, our care for our environment has always had checks and balances, from charting our weather to sampling our groundwater. We have always employed the best monitoring technology available, and most importantly, involve employees in the care of their environment through regular briefings and meetings. Our sampling encompasses ponds and streams to ensure we are caring for where we live and work. But it's not all work and no play. Each year we have a very successful safety week in our plant. During the millennium, we adopted our own mascot, Safety Sam. Safety is everyone's business at Aughinish. Our motto, that no job is so important or so urgent that it cannot be done safely, has served us well. We work hard to consistently improve safety and proudly display our awards. In 2000, the local sporting community became involved in our celebrations of Safety Week, and the Sam Maguire paid a visit, together with the sporting greats of Kerry and the Limerick ladies. The Sam Maguire was lifted more times that day than in Croke Park. In 2003, a major construction force returned to Aughinish with the advent of PCP, or the Plant Expansion Project. The aim was to increase our alumina production capacity by 250,000 tonnes, a sizable expansion by any standards. The project was a great vote of confidence in the plant and its employees by our then owners, Glencore. This time the construction workers were faced with a new challenge: expanding the plant and completing construction within the confines of a working plant without interfering with production. Major engineering and construction feats were happening side by side with our working plant in what was a very successful project for Aughinish. But our success has not been solely down to our own efforts. Our cooperation and partnership with the University of Limerick has brought dividends in improved production, better quality, and leading-edge developments in the care of the environment. After the successful implementation of the PCP expansion project, our owners gave the green light for the construction of a combined heat and power station, the CHP. Gas power turbines provide us with power and steam to operate our plant. The CHP produces electricity not only for the plant, but also for the national grid, a project that has ensured our survival. The arrival of the gas line to Aughinish doors was a very welcome sight indeed. Rusal Aughinish today is a mature alumina refinery nestling in the beautiful countryside of Aughinish Island. It exists in harmony with its surroundings. We still care passionately for our environment, constantly checking that what we do does not impinge on the surroundings or on our neighbours. We are also looking to the future, preparing for the day when we return the BRDA to nature. Test cells in our BRDA area show how easily grass can be grown, and we are also exploring new ideas for the regeneration of the area. Our new BRDA, sunk into the ground near the entrance to the plant, is already in use. The new BRDA incorporates the most modern design of any such facility in the world, complete with its sprinkler system for any sunny day that might happen along. Our BRDA management has changed with the advent of mud farming. The use of agricultural equipment to plough, harrow and compact the mud has proved to be the most environmentally friendly way to fully neutralise the red earth. The landscaping of the plant is now in harmony with its surroundings. The greening of the plant grounds has enhanced all of our working areas. Everywhere you look, there is beautiful, lush grass with a large variety of trees growing within the plant itself. It's not just the environment that has changed. We have also changed the way in which we work. The Rusal business systems have underlined and reaffirmed our own standards and have been a driving force in progressing us to new levels of performance. This is evidenced in our central workshop, where the effective use of the 5S system has greatly enhanced the look and feel of the work area. It can clearly be seen that there is a place for everything, and everything is in its place. Innovation and great skill can be seen in the work of the Central Workshop. One key step we have taken to reduce our environmental impact and improve our energy efficiency has been switching from heavy fuel oil to natural gas. The construction and commissioning of our CHP saw the first use of natural gas on our site. The turbine hall, which holds the gas turbines for the production of electricity, is impressive but devoid of people. It only comes alive with people when a turbine is being overhauled. These very reliable pieces of rotating equipment just hum their way through the day and night, producing 150 megawatts of electricity for both Aughinish and the national grid. The performance of the turbines is monitored constantly by our control room operators, ensuring that optimum turbine efficiency is achieved. Gas is fast becoming our fuel of the future. Not only do we have gas turbines for the production of electricity and steam, our calciners have now also been converted from heavy fuel oil to this cleaner fuel. Here we see alumina hydrate, stored before being sent to the calcination process where it is dried. Once calcined, our final product is stored in the alumina silos prior to being shipped to our customers. While the plant is in continuous production 24/7, its progress is monitored centrally in our Operations Control Centre. Our shift plant facilitators oversee the performance of the different processes and are in constant contact with those on the front line. We are now back to where we began, the Aughinish jetty. Alumina, the final product, is loaded for shipping to our customers. And the continuous cycle of our process begins again, with bauxite arriving from Africa and South America to be refined into alumina powder for the smelters of Europe and beyond. The process of emptying a ship appears much the same as 30 years ago, though we have learned much along our journey and have made subtle but significant changes. All watched by jetty staff from land and sea. The bauxite is transported from the jetty unloader along conveyors before coming to rest in the bauxite sheds. A small respite before being reclaimed and fed into the ever-moving process. The bauxite enters the process as it is fed into the grinding mill, preparing it for its long journey through the plant. As we reach our 30-year anniversary, we can see today that the plant merges into its near environment as we at Rusal Aughinish continue the cultivation of our nature trails. Aughinish provides over 4 kilometres of trails to the local community to be used by energetic runners, nature enthusiasts and the more sedate walkers who can take in our wonderful island's scenery and greenery. We are all very proud of our facilities, our achievements and our plant at Rusal Aughinish, and are glad to share this gem with our neighbours. That is why we celebrate with our community every year, by inviting our neighbours to join with us here at our plant to enjoy our accomplishments, sustain our friendships, and continue to plan for the future. As our Christmas Neighbours Evening has often marked the end of another flourishing year for us, this is a fitting place to rest our view. As we celebrate together the first 30 years of successful operation at Aughinish, we look forward to many more years of continued success.